Vaji, we are live. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, a warm welcome to all of you to this ASSOCHAM GEM MOU signing with Amity University, Kolkata. And there will be a webinar along with it, which is called Not Zero, Net Zero. It is a registered trademark by Tier Policy Center. So this time we organized it with ASSOCHAM GEM West Bengal chapter. There is a lot of things here in this event. It's not only an MOU, it's not only an memorandum of understanding. There is a lot of to understand in terms of the webinar theme itself, not zero and net zero. And we have, you can see Mr. Pankaj Dharkar, the chairman of ASSOCHAM GEM Green Building Council and president. We have Dr. Sanjay Kumar with us, who is the vice chancellor of Amity University, Kolkata. We have Dr. Rajendra Shendeji, who is the chairman of Tier Policy Center and former director of UNEP. Architect Vijay Gogji will not be able to join us, so we'll have to do it without him. But he is still there in his presence. So we have some emergency situations. So Architect Devatas Sauji is there with the chairman of GEM West Bengal chapter and principal architect and partner of East Space Kolkata. Professor Sonia Gupta ji is here. He is the secretary of GEM West Bengal chapter and principal. And apart from that, she is also Amity School of Architecture and Planning, Amity University, Kolkata. Neeraj ji is in place of Neeraj ji, so I'll be there. My name is Shubhabrat Arath. I am the joint director of ASSOCHAM. So we'll start this beautiful theme-based MOU signing with Amity University, Kolkata today, and we anticipate a lot of things. So in terms of agenda, if you can show it, Harish ji. Yeah. So right now, we will need to introduce what this ASSOCHAM GEM Green Building Certifications program is, and then we'll try to understand what Amity University, how this sustainability features and everything is in the heart of the Amity University. It's a beautiful university. We visited the campus already, and it's already laden with a lot of sustainability features. I'm sure you like it, and there will be a lot of things to understand from Devtos ji as well later on. And there is a beautiful thing about a new concept called Not Zero, Net Zero. It is by a Tier Policy Center and ASSOCHAM, and we would look forward to hear from Dr. Rajendra Shendeji as well. So right now, I would invite Pankaj Dharkar ji. Slide, please. So Mr. Pankaj Dharkar is the chairman of ASSOCHAM GEM Green Building Council and president of Pankaj Dharkar and Associates. So over to you, sir, so we can illuminate us with ASSOCHAM GEM Green Building Certifications program. Thank you.
Thank you, Shubh, for that introduction and setting the tone. Good evening to everyone. I'm really delighted today to be part of this session, and my special thanks to Dr. Rajesh, sir. I think we are really honored, sir, with your presence. We have signed a very important MOU with TEDE, the Policy Center, and we are really going to get enriched with your experience as former director of UNEP. And thank you, sir. Thank you for sparing this time with us. We will be also honored to have Dr. Sanjay Kumarji, Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Calcutta, and welcome to you, sir. Welcome to Architect Devatos Sahu, sir, and my GEM team members from West Bengal, Calcutta. Thanks, Professor Sonia Gupta ji, for connecting us to Amity University. You are part of GEM team, and you are also part of Amity University. So thanks for this connection. This is a very important connection for us. This is first Amity campus, which second Amity campus where we are signing MOU. So I think our relationship is going to grow further. So friends, ASSOCHAM, just to let you know, is made out of 400 chambers and trade associations with more than 4.5 lakhs members across the country, and we are working towards creating a conducive environment of India business to compete globally. The association exists from 1920. We, in fact, last year celebrated our centenary year, which was presided by, the program was presided by Prime Minister himself. And ASSOCHAM has taken a initiative, green initiative to take care of Mother Earth, and have started this GEM Sustainability Certification Program. Our program takes care of all aspects of sustainability, which includes residential projects, healthcare facilities, logistic park, educational campuses, hotels, offices, factory, warehouses, industrial complexes. It is completely based on to ECBC 2017 and National Building Code of 2016, which we believe that two beautiful documents which Indian architects and engineers have produced, not only for India, but also nowadays the standards are being referred by other global leaders. Friends, our program includes sustainability, daylighting, energy and water efficiency, indoor air quality, which has become extremely important post-COVID. Fresh air, human comfort, more green areas, and one area which we are very proud of that is fire and life safety. So we do believe that our projects, the constructed buildings, have to be energy efficient. They have to have good indoor air quality. They should be efficient in terms of energy and water, but also they should be safe for living in terms and protected with security system is a need of our world. Our friend Jim is being continued input in the world rather than incorporating few components of it. We are very proud of this. And we do believe that any GEM certified building which is the first indigenous program based on ECBC 2017 and NBC 2016, is an affordable program and ensures a payback period of 3 to 4 years for any certified project. Friends, in our mission to reach entire country, you can see the green areas where the GEM chapters are present. Soon we will have chapters in Kerala and Jharkhand. And we have a vision to reach to 20 states and 5 adjoining countries to the nation. So in just 3 years, more than 8 million square foot had been GEM certified across the country. Friends, our program is slowly getting recognition from various states, like Rajasthan state has included our program in the bylaws of 2020, where free extra FAR incentives for green buildings is available. It clearly gives 5% on GEM 3 certified projects, 10% on GEM 4 certified projects, and 15% on GEM 5 certified projects. Friends, the program is also listed by CRESIL, which is one of the important financial organizations for the nation, along with other certified projects. As I said, GEM 1 is a starting point. GEM 5 is the best rating system on a yardstick of 110 to 135. When you cross 105, you become qualified for GEM 5. Currently, we have done projects in all sphere of possible spheres, which includes a pharmaceutical industry like Abbott, a luxury brand hotels of Hilton and ITC, electrical and electronics giant like Siemens, and you can see several industrial projects like JK Cement and various universities, which we are very proud of our association, and we would look forward to work with the Amity University very closely on this. There are projects which are for the schools, which are for the land port terminals, a variety of projects you can see here, malls, IT projects, and our clients are very, very happy to demonstrate this beautiful plaque and certificates in their important areas. In fact, one of the most important achievement is also the metro station complex at Chennai. We are very proud of our associations with various organizations. Like you can see right top corner, we have TERRE, the chair himself, Mr. Dr. Rajendra Shinde is sharing dais today with him, but today with us, and we do believe that we should take this program with the help of all these societies. We have some international associations like ASHRAE, we have IAQA, Indoor Air Quality Association, and post-COVID, this is becoming very, very important association. Indian Institute of Architects, we have Debashish Da from, who also leads IIA. He is also helping us, and various other societies like NIRI, GACS, SESI, the Solar Society, Fire and Security Association, NARADCO, which is component of Builder Society, and all. Friends, we have this important MOU which we did, and this is a second program, and we want to do many more programs in future. So today is this program with GEM and Tele and with Amity. Friends, I'm very glad to put on records that during this pandemic period, we had taken a mission 100 universities across the nation under the able leadership of architect Vijay Garg. And I'm very pleased to inform you that today will be the 84th university with whom we will be signing this MOU. You can see here, Maharashtra, of course, speaks with 23 such universities and institutes, followed by Punjab. And I'm sure under the able leadership of Debashish Da, our numbers in West Bengal will also grow soon. Friends, we have an excellent program on GEM certified professionals. Every fourth Saturday, Mr. Shu is taking a webinar free of cost where we teach people the principles of GEM certification, and then one can anytime 90-minute exam can be given. It is an open book exam, and once you qualify that exam, you become GEM certified professional. So we have 1500 plus certified professional who are our torch bearer for GEM certification program. So Fred, we do believe that creating this awareness will ensure that we move forward in the country for waste management, control our water uses, energy. We will move towards carbon neutrality, and I'm sure this awareness among students through the universities is something which is very dear to all of us in GEM, and this is something we feel that if our next generation is given this direction, they will start thinking about sustainability in a different way. We at our young age were never educated about this. We have learned this over periods during our practices, but I'm sure the next generation will start thinking about it right from the university they are learning. So we all know that the key benefits being fresh water demand reduction, optimizing the energy, proper waste management implementation, carbon footprint assessment, and I'm sure Dr. Shinde is going to throw and add another dimension going forward. Friends, during this pandemic, my team has done fantastic work, doing more than 100 plus webinars with 1 lakh plus registration, 90,000 plus attendees, 9 new chapters opened, 14 MUs, and today will be the 84th MU with the university. So let us please to create a green and environmentally sustainable country and complements Prime Minister's vision. Thank you once again for inviting me, Neeraj and Shubh, and West Bengal chapter, and ensuring a very good program this evening, along with Dr. Rajendra Shinde in presence of Professor and Dr. Sanjay Kumarji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pankajji. Thank you very much. And it is coming from an experienced person about sustainability highlights, the key highlights of ASSOCHAM GEM Building Certifications Program. And friends, whatever you are hearing today about the masterclass and everything, 25th there is a free webinar. Of course, you can join it there. I'll send you the link here. So coming back to the West Bengal chapter and coming back to the webinar themes, and when I'm talking about ASSOCHAM and when you're talking about West Bengal or Kolkata, as it is mostly highlighted on. So when I see this city, whenever I go there, I see a lot of things there You can see there is a British architect, there is a heritage architect, there is a new kind of architect which is coming up, and everything in top of extremely humid and extremely different kinds of harsh conditions. So making something sustainable in this city, and one side there is a rich heritage, on other side there is Amity University stands out largely with the modern art, contemporary design, and how we are balancing it. So we would be very much excited to hear it from our chairman of West Bengal chapter, Mr. Devadas ji. Harish ji, can you please give the slide, please?
Yeah, can I share?
So, yeah, architect Devadas Sahu is the chairman of ASSOCHAM JM West Bengal chapter and principal architect at partner eSpace. I would like to invite him to speak few words, sir. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Subho, for beautiful introduction. And may I be allowed to share my screen?
You have the right, sir. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumarji, Dr. Rajendra Sindeji, my chairman, Mr. Pankaj Dhakarji, and all my colleagues in ASSOCHAM JEM, and especially all the students who are here today, this afternoon, to witness this a fantastic moment where the first university from West Bengal will be signing the MOU with ASSOCHAM JEM. And it is really a pride moment for all of us. And obviously, I should thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumarji, for your goodwill and your wishes. And obviously, I must thank Architect Professor Sonia Gupta ji for taking the initiative to make this happen today, because we are trying for long, and in the meantime we had we are passing through a very bad and difficult time, and in spite of that, at least this day has come where we'll be signing the MOU. And thank you so much, ASSOCHAM JEM, for taking all the initiative to make it happen today. And just to commemorate this day, we are organizing this webinar, and which is obviously on the subject not zero, net zero. It is the subject of today. So obviously we will be listening to Sindeji, but I will just try to put some light on the international scenario on this. You see, it's very lucid to hear not zero, net zero. But what is this net zero? Though most of us, but still just to highlight, it is the balance between the quantum of greenhouse gas produced and the amount removed from the atmosphere. It's the balance. So it's zero. And to get this net zero, we have to reduce the greenhouse gas emission, or to ensure that any ongoing emissions are balanced by removal. And this net, this word net, in this net zero is very important, because it will be very difficult to reduce all emissions to zero. If you see, this scale, where we will find in 1990, 1950, carbon dioxide had never been above this line. Now you see this peak. See the steep rise of this greenhouse gas concentration in the environment. So we really need this carbon sink. Now, just let me go through the journey of this of carbon, of carbon. In 1712, the British ironmonger, 1896, the Swedish chemist Arrhenius, he concludes that the industrial age coal, this warning will enhance the natural greenhouse in the atmosphere. 1938, the British engineer Guy Callender shows that the CO2 concentration had increased over the years, and he suggested that this is causing the global warming, and which is called as the calendar effect. In 1987, this Montreal Protocol. In 1988, it is very important, this Intergovernmental Panel on the Climate Change, IPCC, it has been formed. 1997, this Kyoto Protocol, highly talked about this Kyoto Protocol, this has been agreed. And in 2005, the Kyoto Protocol becomes the international law. In 2011, data shows the concentration of the greenhouse gases are rising faster than in previous years. In 2012, the studies find that some disastrous heat waves, droughts, extremes of these precipitations, the floods were made worse by the global warming. And 2015, this Paris Agreement is been done, and nearly all the nations pledged to set their own targets for the greenhouse. Tropical wildfires, the mean global temperature became 14.8 degrees Celsius, which is the warmest in the 10,000 years. And the carbon dioxide level was 415 ppm. It is the highest in the million years. Now, it's not been changed. Why it has not been changed? Sorry.
Tuji, if you can switch off your video, it will be a little bit better. I mean, I think the net is low a little bit.
Yeah, can I? It's very difficult to change the thing. Yeah, can you see slides, please?
So we can see your slide,
Can
but
you
I
see?
think its net is a little bit slow. Yeah, we can see your slide.
Yeah.
The same page. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming. There is a curve. Right.
Yeah. I'm sorry, for this, technical glitches. After this steep drop in the year 2020, carbon dioxide rebounded strongly in 2021. The global energy related to carbon dioxide emissions were 2% higher than in December 2020. As a part of this place, under this 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, India, the world's third biggest carbon emitter after China and the US, is supposed to reduce its carbon footprint by 33 to 35% from 2005 levels by 2030. Also, India aims to produce 40% of by 2030. I think it is a lot of problems I'm facing. এই অয়নকে একটু ডাকো তো। Yeah, can we I'm sorry, this net is really very poor because it's raining heavily out here.
Yeah, that's fine. Fine, Ritus. Yeah, you can.
So can
see
you
what
just,
can
say,
if you can say.
yeah, I think, I can't show the slides. So can you please go on with the next presentation, please? In the meantime, let me see if I can do something.
What we can do is we can share the slide. Meanwhile, we can, if Vijay Gogji is there, I can ask him to take a few words. Meanwhile, we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
fix these corrections if it is that fine for you.
Yeah, please.
She was there few minutes before. 1 minute, sir.
Sujoy ke ekটু ডাকো তো সুজয়কে সুজয়
Okay. So Vijay Garg is not there. So can I call Rajendra Sandeji to speak? And meanwhile, we'll fix this problem later on. Is that fine, sir, for you?
Yeah, that's okay for me.
Yeah. Harishji, slide please. So Dr. Rajendra Shende, I am inviting sir, who is the chairman of Tier Policy Center, former director UNEP. So as we already saw that we have a MOU with Tier Policy Center, and the complete theme of Not Zero Net Zero is revolved around a slogan, a campaign, you can say. So you want to hear more about what the campaign is all about and how it is going to help in the sustainability protocol to the universities and academics. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shob, and thank you for your all hard efforts to fix this webinar. Without your efforts, I think it would have been difficult to shape up the agenda so well. I feel sorry that Sahuji is unable to complete his excellent presentation, because I think he was, I felt that he was in fact introducing my presentation. And that would have made my work much easier, but doesn't matter. So Dharkar ji, Devatosh ji, Sanjay Kumar ji, and Sonia ji. I'm so delighted to be speaking to all of you, because ASSOCHAM is such a powerful organization, nationally so well known, and doing such a useful practical work which really helps the industry as well as now the universities and many entities and agencies. And their policy center is really glad to get associated with ASSOCHAM. I'm also very pleased that today you are signing an MOU with Amity University, and Sonia ji is here. You may like to know that their Policy Center has already joined hands with Amity in Noida for Smart Campus Cloud Network, which I'm going to introduce very quickly. And I also feel proud that this is a very unusual combination of academia as well as industry and the civil society, that is a Their Policy Center. Let me introduce in a couple of sentences Their Policy Center. It is an NGO, civil society organization. It's called as a Terre. Terre is a French word which means earth. And it is also abbreviation of technology, education, research, and rehabilitation for the environment. We work with the communities. We are not a think tank. We are an action platform. And we just say that get going on the work, because we don't have time to lose on thinking and making policy, though our center is called as a policy center. What we can do, what we come very near to the real life situation, is that we make evidence-based policies and not just a theoretical policies. Having introduced you that, let me start sharing my presentation immediately. Can you see that? Can you see my presentation?
Yeah, we can see. Just need the full screen mode. That's
Very good, very good. I was just talking to Sonia ji other day, and I didn't know that in Kolkata it was raining heavily, and I understood later on that three weather systems, very severe weather systems, have come together and trying to sink Kolkata and Odisha. That is a very serious situation. And I don't think then we need to get introduced into what are the damages caused by the climate change. It is in front of us now. And most of the students who are listening to this, as well as the faculty, probably know that in their parts of the geography, the climate change is causing a lot of havoc. In India, the flood situation has not yet stopped. And there is no continent in the world where the climate change has touched upon. But let me come to 1st January 2016. And that is the date on which the whole world started implementing sustainable development goals. That was the starting point. The end point is 2030. So we have now, from now on, about a decade to attain the SDGs. And these sustainable development goals encompass almost every aspect of our human development. But not only human development, but the development of our ecosystem also. Because whenever we talk about development, we always have the people at the center. But the SDGs take us to make the ecosystem, the flora and fauna at the center, and human being is a part of the flora and fauna. So these SDGs started getting implemented on 1st January 2016. And the Smart Campus Cloud Network, that is a project of TAIR Policy Center that started working on 5th June 2017 in presence of the then Minister of HRD, Mr. Prakash Javadekar. He inaugurated that dashboard, and that explains what is this Smart Campus. It is a project to bring all universities together to share the information on all the activities that they are doing on sustainable development. Not just the courses which are taught in a class, but also the activities they carried out in a campus. And the idea is to take this developmental process for the future generation out of the classroom and open in a campus. Take out the duster and the chalk and get the digital technology, and along with that, get campus to carry out the actual work. It also says, don't use the blackboard now. Start using the keyboard or a springboard to launch yourself in mainstreaming sustainable development goals. And two of the goals, that is a goal number 7 and goal number 7 and 13, they are directly related to the climate change, which is the subject of Not Zero Net Zero. And in order to create some kind of an excitement with the students and the faculty who are listening to my presentation, I just want to take you to this image. And probably you will understand why universities matter. This single photograph explains each and every Indian why universities matter. This photograph was taken in Pune, from where I'm speaking to you. It is taken in a Ferguson College, and our present Prime Minister Modi ji, he says that this is the event from where he launched his campaign for being a Prime Minister and his party being in a government. That was in 2013. So this photograph is taken 7 years back. And that itself shows why universities matter. Because he thought that he should start with the students in the university. Start telling them, because the future belongs to them. Whether it is a message about the sustainable development, Vikas, or Vishwas, or Prayas, or it is related to not zero, net zero, we must start with universities. So that is an ambitious movement, which is a part of the Smart Campus Cloud Network. There are 350 higher educational institutes which are part of the Smart Campus Cloud Network now, including 7 from abroad, and they are expanding very fast. And there are about 250 institutes which have taken a pledge. It's a common pledge, and I'm coming to you by explaining when it happened, and that is a not zero, net zero. And Sahuji explained this not zero, net zero very well. Unfortunately, he has to stop in between. Hope he will come back and tell us more about it. But this is an ambitious movement that began to transform the educational institutes. ASSOCHAM is doing an excellent job in getting buildings certified. But let me put it in a much broader context. What we are trying to do is the SDGs which are related to the climate change. And as I told you, the 2 are directly related, but all 17 or all remaining 15 are indirectly related to climate change. We would like to see that each university becomes a net zero. Our Prime Minister, speaking on a Red Fort on the last 15th August, he said that he is going to make Indian, and he has already started. This particular maybe about more than 20,000 colleges, their campuses become carbon neutral, which is a not zero, net zero. Why universities? Because universities represent the future generation. And that's where the policymakers are getting molded. When they come out, whatever they learn, not only in a classroom, but in a campus, will be in the back of their mind. And not zero, net zero, the carbon neutrality will be mainstreamed in their life wherever they are, in a government, business, civil society, or in individual entrepreneurs. And hence, this is where we stand today in terms of carbon neutrality. Current scenario, the university campuses represent and nearly footprint. So that's why the universities matter. Green buildings, of course, is a part of it, but that is not the only thing. The buildings count for nearly 30 to 40% of the total emissions. And as I said, also the resource consumption. So any efficient economics wise, financially, but it also going to help benefits in doing this. We are not only training the future policymakers into it, but also presently we start saving the money into it. So we are talking about not zero, net zero, a triple bottom line approach. And let me emphasize what Sahuji said is that we are not trying to make the emissions zero. Frankly speaking, if carbon dioxide emissions are become zero, none of us will be able to live on this planet. Carbon dioxide is an essential element. What matters is the carbon dioxide which crosses the limit. And that's what very well shown by the graph when Sahuji informed us about it. And this is what is happening, that carbon dioxide concentration in atmosphere are rising, rising, and rising. And that's why we see the disaster which is happening, because that continues to contribute to the global warming. They don't talk about only against climate change. Even the meeting in New York and meeting in Washington, where the Quad, the Australia, USA, Japan, and India meeting, climate change is almost on the top of the agenda. There may be other political issues, but the climate change is the agenda, and that is because we are all surrounded by the challenges of climate change, catastrophic combinations, and the consequences of it. So, I'm trying atmosphere. And any further which we are going to add, try to remove it. And removal is not by physical removal. Removal by actually creating a sink of carbon. And what is a sink of carbon? Sink of carbon is a tree plantation. It could be making other useful chemicals from carbon dioxide. And also it is by reducing the temperature of the earth, by reducing the concentration to a certain extent, absorption capabilities also keep on changing. And hence, it is one of the simplest way of doing it. That's why I'm thankful to ASSOCHAM, who has agreed to put this whole building concept, the green building concept, into the broader context of not zero, net zero. Many say that India is going to make an announcement. Our Prime Minister is going to make some announcements in terms of carbon neutrality of the whole country. We will see whether it happens. But whether it happens or not, I think the universities can make themselves ready. So let's not waste time. We call it just do it. Register with sccnhub.com, take a pledge, form a core group, talk to us, talk to ASSOCHAM, and get going. Let's walk the talk and achieve the carbon neutrality. Why? Because we need a transformation, and we don't want anyone to be left behind. Thank you for listening, and I would be here to answer maybe delicate questions, sensitive questions, and even nasty questions, because I like the university base is a nasty base, and because they are nasty, they are able to do the constructive work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajendra ji. That is awesome. Like, no one should be left behind. That's the message. That is the banging on your head again and again, and you are making it possible just through the place of NJIT. And adding to your whatever you said, and Devatas ji was in the slide number 4 or 5, we could not continue. So we would play the slide for him so that he can continue along the same line that you just left here. So for this NJIT talks. Harish ji, please start from slide number 5 for Devatas ji.
Yes.
You can directly start from there.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing me back. I'm really sorry, that it was discontinued for this a very bad weather out here. Now the point is, we are talking about the Paris Agreement in 2015, and India, the world's third biggest carbon emitter after China and the US, is supposed to reduce its carbon footprint by 33 to 35%. And the next, please. And now we will see the composition, the global greenhouse gas composition, how it is contributing to this entire, GHG, greenhouse gas. If we see this, blue portion, this carbon dioxide, which is coming from the fossil fuel, it takes 65%. And the carbon dioxide, which is coming from the forestry and the other land use, it is 11%. So getting together, it is more than 75%. It contributes more than 75% of the total greenhouse gas emissions. And the methane takes about 16%, nitrous oxide only 6%, and the F gas, that is the fluorinated gas, that takes only 2%. Now, if you on the right hand side, if we see, it's the global greenhouse gas emission by the economic sectors. You will find the building which is at the bottom, that is, but the agricultural, forestry, and the other land use, that takes 24%. Electricity and the heat production, that takes 25%. This sector. Industry takes 21%. Transportation is very important. They take 14% responsibility, and the other energies, they take the 10%. Next, please. Now, we are now just simply talking about the problems. We have to talk about the solutions also. Though these solutions are all, we have just started working on these solutions, but some of the solutions are really very good. We have understood that the 6 sectors, they have to act fantastically to reduce the carbon footprints. The energy sector, they have to reduce 12.5 gigaton, and the industry has to reduce 7.3 gigatons, agriculture and food 6.7, and the others likewise, so that we can contribute to limit the temperature increase by 1.5 degrees centigrade only. So just to have this 1.5, this target, then a lot of activities has to be taken up by all these sectors, and which is a big task for the world. Next, please. Now, for the reduction, obviously we have to reduce the dependence on the fossil fuels. We have to go for, obviously, the renewable energies. Next, please. The other solution, which is very interesting and which is the talk of the world, it is the BECCS and the DAC. BECCS is bioenergy with carbon capture storage, and DAC is direct air capture. If we see this diagram, this biomass, this absorbs the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So obviously we have to go for increasing plantation, and this plantation has to be used for the electricity, heat, and fuel. But obviously they will also generate carbon dioxide, and that has to be captured. It's the best way if we can capture at source, and then that carbon can be stored somewhere on the earth. Normally it is been stored say 100 feet below the ground level, and which is obviously should be a little bit of saline areas. And the other DAC system is very new in the sense, and it's very costly also. Costly in the sense, it takes the air and it purifies and it absorbs the carbon, and that carbon is being stored. So that is the DAC process. It has got pros and cons. These are very, very expensive, and in sometimes it takes a lot of areas which will be required for this. Next slide, please. Obviously, we have to think for the other things, like the general people. If we go for just simple formulas, that is reduce, reuse, and recycle, which we are listening for years, but probably we are not still pursuing all those things. But each and every one of us should start immediately practicing this, especially the students who are the future of the country. They should start this three principle and we'll be able to start contributing to the cause. Next slide, please. Now, there are other points which I want to mention. It is what is the Indian economies, the Indian companies, what they are doing. As India races to meet the climate change goals by 2050, it faces an awful task. So it must address the energy transition, bring down the industrial pollution, the growth of renewable energy, and move towards the electric mobility. And slowly and steadily, before we chase a net zero target, several issues such as power pricing reforms, which will be very important, the transition from the coal to renewable energy, alternatives for the coal dependent states, and the geopolitical factors that needs to be resolved. These trade-offs between the technology and the economy and politics will determine if 2050 is realistic a net zero target or not. So India has taken the Solar City mission. India has taken the National Mission for Green India. And out of this National Action Plan on the Climate Change, the NAPCC, we have taken these 8 missions. India has taken 8 missions, which are very important. Number 1 is National Solar Mission. Number 2, the National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency. Number 3 is Mission on Sustainable Habitat, where we, the architects, are very much linked with. Number 4 is National Water Mission. 5, Mission for Sustaining and Himalayan Ecosystem. Number 6 is the Mission for the Green India. 7, Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. And the 8 is the National Mission for the Strategic Knowledge for Climatic Change. There are so many, big companies of India, they have also set their targets. If we see that Reliance, then Tata, HDFC, Mahindra, Wipro, Infosys, and the Jaguar Tata. Out of all these, they have set a target of the year 2030 to 2040. But Infosys is the only company, they have already gone for the net zero concept, and still they are trying to reduce to go for a net positive attitude for their company. Next, please. So Indian companies are trying their best for achieving the India's goal as per the treaties they have signed. I'm not going into the details of this Indian incorporate and this net zero mission. It is really a very awful task, and where the participation of each and every people, be we are students, be we are professionals, teachers, and whoever we are, we have our responsibility, and we have to perform ourselves so that ultimately we can achieve the net zero in near future, though it is a very difficult task. Next slide, please. We have mentioned in this in the previous slide, there are 2 nations who are already net zero countries, and sometimes it is net positive. Bhutan is a fantastic country where they are generating 1.1 million tons of carbon dioxide, but the forest sequester for more carbon dioxide they produce. I mean they absorb. So it is basically a net zero country. The next country, which is Suriname. Suriname is also, next slide please, a carbon negative country since 2014. These countries have their natural resources and their geographical positions, and the resource they have and the population they are having. I think it was a little bit easier for them to achieve. But the countries like India and China, where the population is so much and the industrialization is very much required for sustenance of their nation, where this net zero concept will be very, very difficult to achieve. But if we don't achieve that, then it is really a very bad time waiting for us, for the world in the near future. Next slide, please. India is producing so many interesting products. I will just stress upon this particular product, which is the Green Series. Is a range of product based on the innovative technology of construction which is without cement, sand, and water. It is just simply a paste kind of thing which actually contributes for the net zero construction. So this kind of industrial revolution, where a different kind of products which has to be come up with the R&D facilities, then only we will be able to use this kind of product to achieve a net zero construction also. Next slide, please. In India, this project is the first net zero building. Probably we all know it is a Parjavaran Bhavan, Indira Parjavaran Bhavan in Delhi. It is the first net zero building. Next slide, please. This is the next slide, shows the Sun Carrier Omega building in Bhopal, MP. This is also a net zero building, which has already been constructed. Next, please. The next slide will be showing this is an annex building, a part of Vikhroli campus, Mumbai, Godrej and Boys Manufacturing Company. This is also a net zero construction and the building. Next slide, please. I will just, I will show only one project of mine, which is where at least we have tried my best to do something for achieving this net zero thing, which is a solar city. It is on a campus of 23.67 acres of land. The total built up area is 27 lakh square feet, and the total number of dwelling units is 4,221, and the entire roof is proposed to be covered with the solar cell. Next slide, please. It will be in 2 phases, and we have already started for the first phase construction. Next slide, please. It will be, there will be an installation of 1.5 megawatt rooftop grid-tied solar photovoltaic panels, which will make living truly affordable, as it will generate 20 lakh kilowatt hour of free green electricity per annum. This also ensure about 1,800 tons of carbon dioxide emission savings annually, which is roughly equivalent to the emissions of 1,500 diesel city vehicles in a year. The carbon footprint savings from such an initiative will help in creating a cleaner atmosphere for our future generations to breathe in. This is probably the Asia's largest residential rooftop solar panel installation, and we are proud that we have started the construction, and I must thank my client that they have accepted this proposal to be a part of this green movement. So next slide, please. So ultimately, we have to be always we have to go green. In every aspect of life, in every act of our activities, if we become a little bit sensitive, if we think for our mother nature, then probably we'll be able to do it. Thank you so much. And I'm really sorry for the technical piece, what has happened. And thank you so much for your patient hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Deptasji. Actually, you should not feel sorry for that, because you delivered a beautiful presentations, and it was all around, all about net zero. And I like the part of the Solaris city and how it is designed with the rooftop, Asia's first largest one. And there was a lot of concepts also with the green metals that you suggested. It is coming from Pune. So Rajendra Shendeji will be happy for that. And here, so we have a lot of things, a lot of net zero related themes. We heard from policymakers, we heard from architect like you, we heard from academic people working in the academics, Rajendra Shendeji, and a lot of experiences coming from Pankaj Dharkarji in terms of ASSOCHAM GEM Green Building Certifications Program. Now we would like to hear it from the sustainability, from the viewpoint of the academics, from the perspective of Amity University, and would like to know where the sustainability initiatives are here for. So I would like to invite Professor Sanjay Kumarji, who is the Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Kolkata. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being associated with us. We would like to hear from you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shur, for giving me this opportunity. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
First of all, I extend a very hearty and warm welcome to very renowned and eminent scientists and speakers, Dr. Shindreji, Dr. Pankaj Dharkarji, Dr. Devashish Sahuji, and all other panelists, those who have been listening to me, and definitely my warm greetings to my students, participants, and research scholars, and very, very eminent and exponents in the field of the architecture, all architects of the West Bengal and other places. I am extremely delighted to be part of this webinar come MOU signing occasion. This is basically a golden occasion for all of us to understand, and without mentioning especially the name of a very vibrant and dynamic principal of my School of Architecture, Professor Sonia ji. She has been very, very instrumental in organizing all those kind of things. It's a great opportunity for us to listen to the experts from the various areas, particularly the ASSOCHAM. I could see to this the credentials over a period of time, the way it has built. This is a testimony of your hard work. This is a testimony of the realistic work which is really required to have an ecological balance in the society. From the academic point of view, also I was just looking at and patiently hearing Dr. Rajendra Shinde. There are many, many aspects which have been brought out very, very nicely and very comprehensively. I would not like to go, but myself being an engineer from IIT Delhi, let me tell you this, it is the greatest pride for me to announce you that IIT Delhi is one of the first IITs which has taken a lot of green initiatives to make the campus absolutely green. And you will be also equally glad to know this, that 1.8 megawatt solar panels we ourselves in the Amity University, Kolkata, established, and almost about 80% of our energy is being supplied by the solar panel. And myself being in 7 years regular student in IIT Delhi campus, I could see to this that Department of Environmental Engineering, Department of Renewable Energy has been flourishing like anything. And I'm talking about 20 years, 25 years back when I was a PhD student. We used to have all kind of a greenhouse concepts everywhere. The all kind of a solarization, as a matter of the Solaris used to be the annual event of the IIT Delhi. And followed by IIT Delhi, there's another IIT which has taken a lot of initiative, that IIT Mandi, which is actually it's a new IIT. I was very patiently listening to all these speakers over here, particularly Dr. Pankaj, Dr. Rajendra Shinde. Then when you start developing the concept of, not zero, net zero. From mathematics and from engineering point of view, I would like to explain this concept to all the great panelists over here. When it comes to the zero concept, the mathematicians are very categorically they define. As an engineer, we also define that when zero comes to the left of the real number, whether it's a plus or minus, it has got no significance. But the significant only comes when it goes to the right. Now, I would like to give an analogy here for the net zero. And this is what I'm looking at. This is not zero, is to the left of the real number. And the real is the realistic world. When it goes to the right, then only it comes to the net zero. And that is where we are looking at this. The resultant should be that the carbon footprints in the entire world, if you look at this, in the world map, I'm not referring a particular publications, but if you look at in general any kind of an environmental grid, you will find a lot of red marks all around. It means that how the entire world is suffering from such kind of a polluted environment. And the pollution is one of the biggest cause for even mind pollution. Let me tell you this, that the pollution is the biggest cause for the mind pollution also. Also, I'll be equally glad to share that I belong to a very small place in Bihar. And my sasural is in Bhagalpur. So let me tell you this, although it's my, of course, in a personal front, but it is related to the academics. About 15 years back, my father-in-law in Bhagalpur, he belonged to another small village in, this village name is Makaranpur. And I belong to a landlord family where we had more than 100 acres of the land. And let me tell you this, and this is an honest confession by me, that in all 100 acres, we left the agri and we planted the entire mango trees over. In the previous university where I was there, that campus was more than 40 acres. And let me tell you this, the initiative what we took it, not only the solarization of the campus, not only having the STP and WPP, but also I developed the oxy-rich zones by planting the people trees. And as you are aware about this, the best characteristic of the people trees is to absorb the carbon footprint and basically whether the night or the day, I try to oxygenate the entire environment. So for the academician, I would like to suggest that the awareness program about the environment is must. And now since the ASSOCHAM is going to be on board with us, and so is the case with the tear, what Dr. Shinde was making mention of this, the tear means the earth. Unless we really protect our, Mother Earth, I don't think that the survival is, that easy. Because everywhere we are looking at to, we have got to take initiative to protect the earth. Also, I would like to give some kind of examples from my previous career. I was a military leader. I was an air commodore in the Air Force before I got into the academics. Although one of the area is a very, very pet area is renewable energy. And let me tell you this, the world largest, India has taken so much of the biggest initiative in the world, that Bhadla Solar Park. You'll recall this, and I would like that an ASSOCHAM chairman, when he is mentioning this, he should also make a special mention about this Bhadla Solar Park, because you are, in a position to go to the various places. We are not in that position to go to the various places and, contribute to this. But this is the biggest initiative of this country. And thanks to Prime Minister Modi and his vibrant team, who has been able to look at this, that how 2,245 megawatt can be generated through that kind of the biggest solar plant in Gujarat. And that was inaugurated in 2020, if I'm not wrong. So in March 2020 onwards, so much of the productions. Being an engineer, let me tell you, I'm an electronics engineer. And I have been advocating on this fact and figures of this, that the only generation of this, the biggest culprit in this country is the NTPC. So for the environmental pollution is concerned, National Thermal Power Corporation. Now, if you look at this, that per 1 megawatt electricity generation, how much the footprint comes? 700 and almost 82 kg. And when you start now comparing the similar kind of a figure in China, for the production of each megawatt, it produces more than 1100 kg of CO2. So rightly it was said by the Dr. Pankaj that we being, as you know, the 6th largest probably, so far the carbon footprint generation is concerned. So in the city, let me tell you this, Amity City, Kolkata, I can vouch for this, that when we have got, more than almost about 1.8 megawatt solar generation, we have got in a second phase also where we are looking at this, that every inch of the rooftop has got to be solarized. Also, you'll be glad enough to know to this, that our applied science department and environmental science department is continuously looking at this, at the e-mobility. The e-mobility and the e-vehicles propagations all around, we have got to look at this, that how the transportation, mode of the transportation, we have got to change it from the conventional fuel to the renewable energy fuels. We are also looking at this, that how the hydrogen fuel can be given that kind of a weightage, where all kind of gasoline, petrol, diesels can be out from there. So we have got to look at this, that the provision of the hybrid fuel, provision of the hybrid electricity. Let's say if you close the NTPC, probably it will be very difficult for India to survive right now, because our, the biggest dream here is to generate 100 gigawatt power through the solar panels. And if every building, as an architect, I will request my all, eminent architects, that whenever you are approving any design of the building, please don't let them go just like this. The way, from the electronics point of view, we have been creating the smart buildings, smart environment. And what is the smartness we are looking at? Not putting some cameras and artificial intelligence and etc. Everything can get switched on, but at the cost of what? Even if you're on electricity in the house itself, if it is generating, if your kitchen is generating so much of the carbon footprint, and not only the carbon footprint, it is not only the carbon dioxide, it is the nitrous oxide, as you are aware about the most of the, the officers may be having the science background. You have the methane. Methane is a toxic gas. Methane is a toxic gas. As a matter of fact, in our laboratory, we try to look at this, that methane gas is not generated. Maybe it's some kind of simulations, etc. So everywhere we have got to look at this. In our campus, I have ensured that the STP plant is 101% serviceable, and also the WTP plants. It is not the only air pollution. Your water vapor contents, your gasoline contents, your aerosol contents, and all kind of toxic gases, we have got to remove it. But how it will be possible? The only possibility is through the massive awareness campaign. And I'm sure, association like ASSOCHAM, they're doing a wonderful and excellent job, and of course the chair. So all of us, being as a person from the academia, I'm looking at this, that not only why you should have the 84th only, you should be going, numerous hundreds of the universities, and universities will be glad enough to have this. Also, the another initiative what we have taken, that whether a student is pursuing the liberal arts, whether a student is pursuing the art craft, or whether it's in a fashion design, or whether engineering, or whether it's biology or applied sciences, or any sphere of the education, we ensure the environmental engineering is going to be a compulsory elective for him. It is a compulsory elective thing. It is not then a choice based. We have not given here the choice. It is a compulsory that they have got to clear this environment. It is the reason behind this is the awareness about the environmental degradation today. Now the remedial measures, we have got to look at this. We have got to go for the all kind of hydel power plants. Hydel power plants should be, generating enough of, power. Also, we should be looking at this, how the electric power, the battery power. We have been, looking at this. I have been a core researcher in the DRDO for, 15, 18 years, and I was a program director of the various, programs, but not directly associated with the energy programs, but definitely I work on the photovoltaic. And we are also, let me also, bring it to your notice that today, the photovoltaic sales efficiency is only about 27 to 30%. We are looking at in our research laboratory that how the efficiency can be increased to the 50%. And why the efficiency should be increased to 50% and 60%? Because of the voluminous occupation of the rooftop. If you look at the panels today, because of the solar cells grid, it is a very, very voluminous. It takes so much of the space. Now we scientists, we academicians and researchers have got to work together to look at this, that how the solar panels, the sizes can be reduced in length and breadth, so that in the lesser space, one should be, capable enough to generate enough of the power for his household requirements, also for the industrial requirements, also for the urban development, or also for the village development, anywhere. If you look at this, everywhere there has got to be an awareness campaign that, okay, increase the tree plantations, try to reduce the dependence through the conventional energy resources. We should be going for the wind energy, tidal power energy, and of course the nuclear. I want to advocate the nuclear power, because there also there is a lot of possibility of the carbon footprints out and carbon emissions. So I will not advocate, but definitely we have got to look at this, the judicious combinations of the different sources, so that we should be in a position to really produce the enough of the power. So far our university buildings are concerned, I would also like to state and emphasize that all university buildings, not only the Paryavaran Bhavan, why the government, whatever the NBCC is one of the major construction agency for the government. NBCC should have this program in their agenda, that any building, if you look at this in this country, you go to all over the places, all the M's have been constructed by NBCC and various other agencies of the state. So the state government and the central government construction agencies should be basically focusing on to this, that no building design should be approved unless the building becomes the self-sustainable, so far the environment is concerned. Unless the building becomes completely green. If the Paryavaran Bhavan can be made an example, why not all other buildings are in a different states? And I am sure the Indian scientists, Indian students, Indian young minds, they are quite capable and really brilliant. I am very, very thankful to Professor Sonia ji, and also very, very thankful to Dr. Rajendra Shinde ji, Dr. Pankaj Dhankar ji, Shubh ji, and all other panelists. I think Devashish Sahu ji is also there. I'm not very much familiar with the entire panel, but at the same time, I'm extremely grateful for having given me this opportunity to talk among this kind of an August gathering. And I will be more than happy to see to this that our MOU gets signed, and not only the School of Architecture, but all our schools. We are running almost about over 85 programs in various spheres of the education. All the schools must have this kind of an initiative, so that we not only develop a very sustainable environment, but also we must have a very eco-friendly environment in the campuses of the colleges, the schools, and the universities. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think enough of talk has been given on to this. I would like to come to a halt, and at the same time convey my sincere thanks to each one of you for giving me this kind of wonderful opportunities. I'll also request all the students and the research scholars to kindly take a note of every point what has been talked today, and take initiatives at your level. Also, don't leave your teachers and professors for anything. If you really wish, I think Professor Sonia should be, and her great team of the teachers should be caught, so that they are fully aware about this. And I would like to see to this that we must promote all kind of environment related projects. Also would like to snatch a couple of projects from the West Bengal government, because the government can spare money for other things. Why not for the environment? And we must commit that the West Bengal government should be absolutely a green government. So for not only the administration, but so for the infrastructure and industrial belt is concerned. Thank you very much. Jai Hind. God bless all of us. Let's stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay Kumar ji. I must admit sincerely that you are so inspiring for all of us in a big way. Sustainability is just not like green buildings or something. In every way, this MIT University and your thoughts are really very much impounding on us, and it will stay with us forever, I'm sure. And with this, I also would make a note that we are trying to, with Dear Policy Center, Dr. Sunday is here, we are trying to make a kind of benchmark rating system as well for educational campuses towards this platform, whatever you are suggesting right now. And we're trying to inculcate those things, sir. So one by one, step by step, we are there. And the mandatory, yes, I completely admit with it. And with this, we can take permissions of yourself and Dharkar ji, so that we can exchange a MOU between ASSOCHAM JEM and Amity University, Kolkata. Can I proceed, sir?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And once again, Sonia ji, and connecting us to Sanjay ji.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Harishji, we can have a virtual MOU signing right now.
Great.
So this is the Augustus sessions for which we all are waiting for from a long time, since a long time, I guess. And with this, like we'll have a lot of things, and we would like to ensure that ASSOCHAM GEM will building certifications program, and here we are determined about filling the loopholes of sustainability and doing something. And here it will go a long way. So here I would invite Sonia ji to hear from her, like what are her reactions, what are her perceptions. Harishji, can you please give the slide, please? Harishji. So here is the time of vote of thanks. So here we listen from the eminent speakers. It's not only about listening, it's also about a lot of things to gather and implement it. So as we go together, as we go step by step. So here we would like to hear from Professor Sonia Gupta, who is the secretary of ASSOCHAM GEM West Bengal chapter, and she is the principal of Amity School of Architecture and Planning as well, Amity University, Kolkata. So over to you, ma'am, for the vote of thanks and
Thank
how
you,
to take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Shubhaji. Am I heard clearly?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you
Yeah?
crystal clear.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Clear,
Thank
madam,
you.
clear.
Right. Thank you so much, Shubhaji. Yes, today's session was short, but I think it was extremely rich in content. With today's deliberations, it is very clear, very heartening to note that with respect to climate change, we have graduated from the awareness level to the actionable level. Our collective consciousness can now work together and take up measures to actually plan the root of every iota of carbon that humans and their activities emit. That every person on this earth is a stakeholder for keeping this ship up and running has now sunk in very well, I think. From micro to macro actions, we are all now in a pledge to champion the cause for not zero, but net zero. I do have a pleasant task of saying thank you. And I will begin by saying thank you to the Almighty for gifting us all the essential things in life, all those things we are now fighting to protect. First up, Dr. Rajendra Shendraji for that succinct expression of how every alert citizen who is going or will go to university can not just think, but actually do it. I would like to thank all officials of ASSOCHAM GEM who made the MO, the Memorandum of Understanding with Amity University, Kolkata possible. Pankaj Dharkarji for his tireless efforts to green this world. Neeraj Aroraji, though he's not here now today, but for bringing us all together in this endeavor. Architect Vijay Gargji is also not here, but I must thank him for taking up a gauntlet for all institutions and their paths forward. Architect Debota Shahu for his very thoughtful presentation on how professionals can eschew theory and bring action to the green table with very, very meaningful examples. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Kolkata, Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Sir for sharing his inspiring, insightful experience about so many climate positive actions, and of course, his valuable time today. So we are definitely inspired, and with today's deliberations, we will definitely, I think, be able to take the green movement and the carbon neutrality challenge a lot way forward. I would also take the opportunity to thank the founders and leaders of Abbott Education Group who had already prioritized green on their agenda a decade back and continue to create an enabling environment. I have shared earlier too that our campus is a LEED Gold, and we hope to definitely climb up the ladder in terms of sustainability and certification. I would be failing in my duty if I do not thank Shubhaji And from the background, Harishji for coordinating and doing everything for the program to be a success. And of course, at the background too, our Deputy Registrar, that is of Amity University, Kolkata, Mr. Shobik Roy Chaudhary, our Research Coordinator, Dr. Ramaranjan Bhattacharya, and of course, the faculty members of ASAPK, that is Amity School of Architecture, Planning, Kolkata, who have brought in their bit to make today's event possible. So a big thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia ji. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shende sir.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate
Thank you. Thank you.
it. Thank you, Devashish.
Once
sir.
again,
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Sir, you have started traveling, Rajendra ji?
And Dr. Devashish Shauji, Shurji, and everybody together. It has been a pleasure meeting you all. And I can assure you from the university side, the university will be the front runner in taking the leads. So far the environmental consciousness is concerned, and so far the your green campaign is concerned. Thanks a lot once again. God bless all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you so much.
With this, we can conclude the meeting. Please.